Today we're going to be making water kefir from scratch. I just got the grains in the mail today, and so we're just going to be unpackaging this and making our first batch with it, and then we'll make a couple batches after that until it starts to actually turn into water kefir. So if you're interested in the process and how long it takes, come along. Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. Today we're going to be making water kefir from scratch. We just got the kefir grains in the mail. I got them from Etsy from Mr. and Mrs. Kefir, and they gave this handy little guide on how to make it. I used to make water kefir all the time. It's one of my husband's favorite ferment and one of my favorites as well. And the grains just kind of went downhill after a while. I'm not exactly sure what I did wrong with them, but eventually we just kind of lost interest in them and I stopped making it. So the grains kind of went bye-bye, and now we are going to start over again. So come along and I'll show you the process from start to finish. So the first step in the process is to get our sugar melted. And according to the package, we need a half a cup of brown sugar. I've never made kefir with brown sugar, but we are actually out of our regular organic sugar, so I'm going to give it a try for a couple of rounds. And I just have this regular C&H brown sugar. It's non-GMO, but it's not organic. I know that non-GMO cane sugar doesn't mean much because I don't think that there's any GMO cane sugar out there, but it's what I have, so it's what I'm going to use. And this one came in this cute little container thing. Might repurpose that for something else. So the first step is going to be just to put the water in here. I do a little less than half of warm water. And basically you just want to make sure that you're getting the water, the sugar all melted into the water, because from my understanding, the kefir grains don't like the sugar granules, and I think it might even kill them. Or just make them not produce as well. So I'm just going to put the sugar in here. And we're just going to get it to go through the funnel. And we're just going to stir it up until it melts completely. You don't want to have any granules in there at all. And oftentimes with instructions, it usually tells you to use the organic sugar and some molasses. I guess they can be kind of damaged during shipping. But we use spring water that we get from just an artesian well. And, well, my husband gets, he's awesome, and he goes and gets it all the time. And so we have really good water, and so we don't really need to supplement a whole lot with minerals. So I'm very thankful for that. But if you filter your water, you do need to supplement with minerals. You can do that with like molasses, raisins, figs. There's a few other things that you can use. I don't really know a whole lot about what they are because I don't really need to do that. We just need to fill this up to the 4-cup mark and cross our fingers that it's going to be cool enough. I don't think it's cool enough. I'm gonna go get my thermometer and double check. Looks like we're at 97, so definitely way too hot to be able to add the kefir grains to it. So I'm just going to put this on pause for a little bit, and I'll bring you back when it's cool enough. We're back, and the sugar water has cooled off. From my understanding, you want to get it down below like 80, 85 degrees. It's sitting at about 75 degrees right now, so it's okay to start adding in the kefir grains if I can open this thing. So this is what they look like. Get my face out of the way here. They kind of look like really big pop rocks, or like just very oddly shaped gummy bears. But they're kind of cool. And so all we're gonna do is just dump them in the water. Ah! Oh, this is a neat little container. I think I'm gonna save this and use it for something else. All we're gonna do with this is just cover it up. You want to make sure that it can breathe, because these are living bacteria, and I think they technically call it a SCOBY, but there are living little grains that are in there, and they do need to breathe, so you don't want to seal them off. Once you do the first ferment and then you bottle it up, then that's when you'll actually seal it off and retain the carbonation that'll build up in there. So we're just going to cover that up. And tie it down with a rubber band. And I'm going to set this on top of my refrigerator. You want to keep it away from any other kind of ferments. So I have some lacto-fermenting vegetables over there. And then in the corner of my living room, I have some kefir, my kombucha. So this is just going to go up on top of my refrigerator, and that's kind of the home. That's where I kept it before. It's probably one of the warmest places that I have. But you don't want to keep it too warm. I think it's between like 75 and 85, 70 to 85, somewhere around that range. And so hopefully it will be that warm up there, and it will start to ferment. It might take a couple tries to get it to actually go, but it will start to create a bunch of bubbles inside here. Like with any ferment, it'll just start to create bubbles, and you'll see it up there. And then we're just gonna go ahead and bottle it. So I will bring you back tomorrow evening, and when we are gonna check on this again. And that's about all there is to it. So I'll see you tomorrow. It's been 2 days since we started off the kefir. So now all we're going to do is just strain out the grains here. Our favorite flavoring is actually dried apples. We just dry these off, put maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 slices in each one. I think probably the reason it's our favorite flavor is because we get these apples for free. So it's just free flavor to add to the kefir. So I just put those in there. And these are just old recycled kefir bottles or kombucha bottles, and I just saved them. I use these instead of flip top ones because we like to put the dried fruit in. And just pour it in there. Try and just kind of level it off between the 3 jars. Two probably would have been plenty, but probably just a little bit too much, so I got it in there. And I just put the lid on there pretty tight. And I don't think that these ones are going to be very fizzy at all. I didn't really see any fizz just yet in these. That usually takes a few rounds of doing it to get it. And remember, said half a cup. So we're just going to pack in about a half cup. A little white, so add a little bit more. And not do quite as much hot water this time. I think it actually melted. Strain them out. It stayed in the jar. Try this again. Be smarter than the sugar. There we go. That. I'm just gonna fill this up to the 4-cup mark. All right. Now, put the grains in. Put the cover back on. Wrap it up in a towel. And keep it in a nice warm place, and we'll check on it again tomorrow. So we're back for our next change out of the water kefir. Ooh, it's starting to bubble. You can tell. You can tap on the jar and you'll just see little bubbles go up. And the last time that I changed out the kefir, I used the regular kind of sugar that I normally use, which is just the organic cane juice, evaporated cane juice from Costco, and that stuff I found works pretty well. So that's what I usually use. Okay, you can see the grains have grown quite a lot in the last few feedings. So I'm going to go ahead and double it and make this a 1/2 gallon recipe. So I'm going to use a full cup of sugar. You want to make sure this is a fermented food, so you want to make sure that you're keeping everything as clean as you can. I mean, I'm not like super crazy about it, but I make sure it's clean. And you just swirl it until there's no granules of sugar left. Put too much water in there, otherwise you're just going to have to wait forever, like I did the first time when I got back to this. You're just going to have to wait forever for it to cool off, because it has to be kind of a warmer room temperature, maybe 80 at the highest, once you add the other water to it. Otherwise you can kill those little suckers. And oftentimes when you go and swirl it all around like I'm doing, it gets up on the sides of the jars, so you gotta kind of swirl it more to get it off. Get it melting into the water. But I just find it's the easiest way to get the sugar dissolved. You don't have to introduce anything else to it, like making sure that any kind of stirring thing is sanitized or anything like that. So you're just using the same jar and you're just swirling it around. Less chance of introducing anything else into it and killing off your stuff. A little more. So there we go. Jar is nice and cool, so we can add our kefir grains to it. That's all there is to it. I think next to milk kefir, water kefir is probably the simplest thing to do, and probably the only thing that makes it more complicated really than the milk kefir is that you have to have the sugar and melt it. With the milk kefir, all you do is pour it in and it does its thing. So yeah, this is pretty simple, pretty easy. If you're trying to avoid sugar or anything like that, this is a great thing to do. And it's just delicious, and it after a certain amount of time it starts to develop some bubbly to it, and it's just really good. So you can flavor it however you want, you can do whatever you want. I usually just do dried fruit, not always apples. I've done like strawberries, you can do blueberries, you can do fresh fruits, you can do juices. We just have an abundance of dehydrated fruit, so that's what I typically use. One note of caution though, I would highly encourage you to not do melons. We did that, both cantaloupe and watermelon, and it was disgusting. It, like, we just dumped it down the drain. It was so horrible. And so anything but melons, you're probably good to go. So I'll see you on the next one. So we're back with our kefir. I think it's ready to open. I don't know if you can see, but it's the lids on all of these are bubbling up pretty good. This is the latest one, and this is the oldest one. So we're gonna go ahead and open these up. This is the first one that I did. You can see it's not quite full yet because I did the 3 bottles. So So I think we got some carbonation there. So that's the oldest one. This one's a lot fuller, so we'll be able to open up quite as much. Whoa! So these are some good grains. So there you have it. Kefir, just straight from ordering it off of Etsy, works great. And you just follow those steps and you'll get a nice, delicious carbonated beverage. So I'm not actually supposed to drink this because I'm on GAPS and this has sugar. But as you can see, it's pretty well fermented. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and have a little bitty sip. Just so you can see how it tastes. That. That's some good stuff. And all it is just sugar, water, kefir grains, and then some dehydrated apples to flavor it. And you get this amazing soda-like drink that's not soda. Okay, no more. I'm on GAPS. So there you have it. Super simple, super easy, works right away. And it'll taste better if you refrigerate it, and it won't be quite so carbonated either. I hope you'll learn something along with me today, and thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.